okay? So just relax, sit upright, don't get you so you don't fall off to sleep again. Sit in your couch or your chair with your body upright, don't slump into the back, and have your feet on the ground planted so you hold yourself up. Meditators in the full lotus position, they all say that's the best position. The great yogis who meditate for weeks and days, literally, they stay very upright, they stay stable. So having the legs in this full lotus position really helps the body be stable. You don't topple over. It's a great advantage for the great meditators. And His Holiness the Dalai Lama said one time, I remember in one teaching, he said, it's really auspicious if you can start your meditation session sitting in full lotus, because this is the ideal way to sit when the subtler energies are all aligning very nicely, something like that. So it's really creates the cause to be able to do it in the future, because the most advanced practitioners need to sit this way, apparently. So if we can't, that's just fine. If we sit in one leg crossed, the other, that's fine. If we can't, we sit in a chair. So if you're sitting in the chair, you keep yourself upright. Don't slump into the back. So your body should be very relaxed, but your body should be upright. I always think of like my skeleton is hanging on a hanger, very straight, but all the muscles and the soft bits are hanging very loosely on the skeleton. So it's a combination of upright but relaxed. As soon as we sit upright, we tense our muscles, especially the abdomen. So flop the muscles. Your shoulders should be square but relaxed. Then your hands in the meditation mudra in your lap or just on your knees as you wish. Then the neck, the head is the main thing. Well, one of the main things. Head slightly forward, chin tucked in. Lips apart, jaw relaxed. Tip of the tongue resting behind the top teeth, just near the palate. And this is like, the yogis have found that this helps you not to dribble or not to have to swallow your spit all the time. And your eyes looking downwards beneath your eyelids, as if you're looking along your nose towards the ground. Okay, so we just do our little contemplation. These words, whatever makes sense to you. You think these thoughts. If you don't want to think these thoughts, you don't need to. So our first step, regret, the 4 opponent powers, regret, reliance, the remedy, resolve. As Lama Yeshe says, it's the power. What purification is the power of our regret, the power of our resolve, of reliance, the power of the remedy, the power of the resolve. It's our mind that creates negativity. So it's our mind that purifies by creating positivity. We do the work. We rely upon the Buddha. He's our mentor. He's our doctor. We need people to rely upon. Marvelous, but we do the work. So regret is this very wholesome, self-respectful attitude of recognizing that in the past, due to ignorance, literally due to our ignorance, we didn't know the things we said and did sowed negative seeds in our mind that will ripen in the future as our own suffering. We didn't know that. So we think, oh my goodness, I was ignorant. I didn't realize that abortion I had, that killing I did, those ants I killed, those fish I killed, those people I killed, whatever it might be, killing, for example, or the lying, or the stealing, or the bad-mouthing, or the sexual misconduct, or the actions, just a half a dozen really, that harm others, based upon attachment and anger, getting what I want, basically. We didn't realize this. So we think, my goodness, I regret those actions. I regret that I didn't have the wisdom to know. I regret that I did those actions because they've sowed seeds in my mind. And unless I pull those seeds out, they are going to ripen as my future suffering. So I've got to change. So the first step is to own the fact that I've done that. Think this life, actions we've done that have harmed others. And then we think, of course, if it makes sense, just think of anything I've done in the past lives that have sown seeds in my mind that I brought with me now. I don't want them to ripen as suffering. I'm sick of suffering, absolutely. And if we've taken vows, for example, and we've broken our vows, we think, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be separate from the Dharma. I want to keep meeting my teachers, meeting the Dharma, have a sane mind, understand the path, meet it easily in the future. So we regret all these actions we've done out of our ignorance that will harm us in the future. I'm sick of suffering. And your delusions, your attachment, your jealousy, your depression, the things that are breaking your heart. Of course, I regret these. They're so stupid, you know, but they're deeply ingrained. Don't blame yourself. I regret them because I'm sick of the suffering. So whom can I turn to give me the methods, the remedies? So we're turning to Buddha here. So imagine Buddha in the Bodhisattva aspect, above our crown. If you don't know, don't worry, just relax. Just imagine the energy of the Buddha above your crown. If you know the form, the Vajrasattva, white light body, radiantly beautiful, sitting on a multicolored lotus, sitting the same way as you. His left hand a bell crossed at his heart, and with the right hand holding a vajra. This is the kind of the union of the two truths, the union of the two wings of the bird, enlightenment. And Vajrasattva really is a tantric aspect of the Shakyamuni Buddha, the Bodhisattva aspect, but is particularly related to emptiness. This is why it's so powerful. Because when we realize emptiness, that's when we cut the root of negative karma. So here we're trying to put atomic bombs on those seeds, on those roots, weakening them, giving space for virtue to ripen. So imagine Buddha above our head, and we have a spiritual teacher. We think it's them, their mind manifesting as the Buddha for my benefit. This makes it so personal. And we just delight. Taking refuge means, you know, we can say a formal prayer, but just thinking, I'm so delighted to have a decent doctor. How marvelous. So now the second part, we rely upon suffering sentient beings, and now we think of compassion for those we've harmed. First is compassion for ourselves. Now it's compassion for those we've harmed. I must purify for their sake as well. All these sentient beings I've harmed, the fish I've killed, who created the cause to be killed, for sure. That's their part of the deal. It's interdependent, you know. They created the cause to get killed because we've got this karmic connection between each other. So now we have compassion for them. That baby who came to my womb, whom I killed, that baby had strong karmic connection with me. They came running like a magnet to my womb. So there's a karmic connection between us. They created the cause to be killed by me. That's not denied, but I'm taking responsibility for my part of it because I want to cut this thing. I want to stop it. So such compassion for that creature, that little girl in my body, or little boy, whoever it was. And then they got mangled, so they had to have another D&C. So I think of that, and have compassion for that sentient being I harmed, you know. And I have compassion for the doctors and the nurses who did my wish, who killed it for me, you know. I have compassion for all the beings. You have compassion for all the beings we've harmed. Because we know they don't want suffering either, just like me. And then if we can, we have compassion for those who've harmed us. Why? Just like those nuns. Of course, we had compassion for our torturers because we knew we had harmed them in the past and because they will suffer in the future because of their negative karma. So that's the basis of real compassion. If we can, if we've been raped, abused, if our father harmed us, if people have harmed us in the past, if we can have compassion for them because out of their ignorance, they harmed us. And because we've harmed them in the past. So there's interdependent relationship between us. I have such compassion for them too, because they're going to suffer in the future. So I must purify for all these sentient beings' sake. Another remedy. We imagine the Buddha very happily, so blissfully, sending this powerful hose of nectar, like liquid energy, arcing around from his heart, entering our crown, and then forcefully filling us so powerfully, driving out all the imprints first of all these seeds we've ever planted in our mind from actions of our body of harming sentient beings since beginningless time, driving them out, washing them out. They all forcefully leave the lower parts of our body as like filthy liquid, disappearing into space. How amazing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Tenopatita Dido Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anorakto Mebawa Sarvasiddhi Memprayata Savakama Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hong Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutokayo Me Suboshayo Me Bava Suboshayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsa Me Sitam Sriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Hung Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Cheno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Karma Sutsam Me Sitam Sriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Hung Pe. Totally washed out. Imagine this. You see, the point is, we think, oh, this is fantasy. Come on. No, it's not. If you realize emptiness right now, and the strength of your mind is what allows you to, all those negative karmas will be instantly cut at the root. This is the point. Cut at the root. So that the power of our conviction and our wish that this be is what makes us purify. The point that Prue said yesterday was a very important point. Are we still, even though we purify, are we still bad? You know, that's because of ego grasping, believing I'm bad. That's the irony of ego. It's nonsense. Have confidence, want to purify, want to change. And it's the power of that that makes you change. So again, Lama Vajrasattva so compassionately sends powerful nectar from his heart that arcs around, enters our crown and fills us. And this time forces up to the surface all the imprints of all the negative speech we've ever done since the beginning of this time, all the rubbish vomiting out our mouths that have harmed sentient beings. Forced out from the top part of our body, disappearing like liquid, filthy liquid, disappearing into space. Just like when you turn on a tap in the sink, as Lama Yeshe says, the junk in the glass comes to the surface. Disappeared into space. Be so delighted. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Kama Sutsa Me Sitam Sriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Kama Sutsa Me Sitam Sriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Kama Sutsa Me Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. Totally annihilated all the imprints of all the negative actions about our speech. It's all as humans, isn't it? Disappeared, gone like into space, full of this blissful nectar. And now this time Lama Vajrasattva sends very compassionately all these beams of light. We imagine arcing around and entering like laser beams, so powerful, entering our crown, filling us instantly. And as Lama says, instantly, like a light when you turn it on in the room, it dispels the darkness instantly, isn't it? Same here. Imagine all the ego grasping, all the delusions, all the causes of, the causes of our suffering, all the delusions annihilated, annihilated by this blissful white light. How amazing. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Kama Sutsa Me Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Teno Patita Dido Me Bava Sutoshayo Me Bava Suposhayo Me Bava Anorato Me Bava Sarva Siddhi Memprayatsa Sawa Kama Sutsa Me Siddham Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Sarva Tatagata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasamaya Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Sama Manupala Vajrasattva Teno Padita Dito Mebawa Sutoshayo Mebawa Suposhayo Mebawa Anorata Mebawa Sarvasidi Memprayatsa Savakama Sutsame Sidam Shyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabha Mahasama Sattva Ahum Pe. And now, not only that, we've just removed the obstacles to our liberation. Now we have to remove the obstacles to our Buddhahood, our omniscience, which is even like the subtle imprints. It's a bit like a second rinse. You know, you've cleaned up all the washing, and now you do another rinse, and it removes even the subtlest imprints. Or you remove the garlic from the jar, and now you have to remove the smell. These subtle imprints are like that. You're liberated. You don't come back. You can't come back to samsara. You're done. But you've got more to remove. And that's what's enhanced. That's what's enhanced when we do bodhicitta, when we practice the compassion wing. That gives them much more power to all the realizations, you know. So this time, you know, imagine all three together. Liquid going down, liquid going up, nectar going down and up in the light. Om Vajrasattva Sama Manupala Vajrasattva Teno Padita Dito Mebawa Sudoshayo Mebawa Suboshayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sarvasidi Memprayatsa Savakama Sutsame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarvatata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasama Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Sama Manupala Vajrasattva Teno Padita Dito Mebawa Sudoshayo Mebawa Suboshayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sarvasidi Memprayatsa Savakama Sutsame Sidam Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarvachata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasama Sattva Ahung Pe. Om Vajrasattva Sama Manupala Vajrasattva Teno Padita Dito Mebawa Sudoshayo Mebawa Suboshayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sarvasidi Memprayatsa Savakama Sutsame Sidam Shriyam Kuru Hung Ha 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 ho Bhagavan Sarvachata Gata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasama Sattva Ahung Pe. How amazing. Purified all the delusions, all the karmic seeds of negative actions of body and speech, and even all the subtle imprints. And now we've purified even the obstacles to omniscience. How incredible. All of these delusions and these seeds of these delusions, all adventitious, not at the core of our being. This is why they can be removed. If they were truly intrinsic in us, then we could never change. It's very simple. This is the teaching of emptiness. Because they have no intrinsic nature, they are therefore completely removable. That should give us great confidence. No matter how miserable we are, no matter how negative we are, we know it's not at the core of my being. This is what we have to be confident about. The depression is there. The anxiety is there. Of course it is. It's ancient habits. But it's not at the core of your being. Identify with your goodness. Identify with your Buddha nature. This gives great courage. And we just live with the silly rubbish and ignore it, you know. Not like that quite. Not silly. But you actively identify with your Buddha nature, actively identify with your goodness, with your virtue, because it's all that is there. We just obsess about the bad stuff. So silly. To be delighted, purifying like this. So fourth step, we make decisions now. So, you know, maybe we've taken vows, maybe haven't. And if we have, we reiterate our intention to keep the vows. I will not kill, I will not steal. And that strengthens that habit in your mind. Every day you say it, it deepens the groove in your mind of that habit. And anything, you know, maybe you've got some decisions to make, like your old habits, like your laziness, or you can't be bothered, or your bad mouthing, or your shooting, like we were talking before, you know, to I forgot your name, darling, the one with the sun, you know, make a decision. I will control my speech tomorrow. I will not say one negative word. This is such a powerful practice, I tell you, that we can control our speech. It's incredible. One day at a time, make a vow. I'll watch my speech and not say that bad word. It's so powerful. In the morning, you remember it and you will keep it. Any other actions you want to maybe give up, you know, eating too much, or things that you know that are the things that harm you and you're sick of your habits. Make some decisions, 24 hours at a time, maybe like the AA people, 24 hours at a time, you know. It's very encouraging. Make your own decisions, habits, decisions you want to resolve to change. You're talking to yourself. You're being your own friend. So now we imagine the guru, we'll think of it as our guru if we feel close to somebody, and as the Buddha, kind of delighted, dissolves into white light, enters our crown. And we imagine now, just for a few minutes, we think the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha, the body, speech, and mind of the Lama, and our body, speech, and mind merge. Same thing. We become full of this marvelous potential, our own potential. How fantastic. So just expand yourself, as big as the universe, blissful, clear, no thoughts, no thoughts. Okay, that's it. Imagine now. Yeah, imagine, be delighted, totally rejoice.